Yeah, welcome back to another video. We ready to get right into it. I'm gonna have to turn my volume up. The audio is pretty low. Let's get right into it.
This episode of Raw opened up with the new Dangerous Alliance as Seth Rollins said the future runs through them. He's then interrupted by Sami Zayn, who says, "You're kind of a hypocrite because you called out Punk and Roman for having Paul behind them previously."
This is a load of crap, man. How much time did you spend talking about CM Punk, talking about Roman Reigns, and then the one thing that those two guys have in common happens to be standing over your shoulder now? It's hypocritical.
He also says you're either with us or you become a target.
It doesn't matter if I love you the way I love you. You stand in our way, you become a target.
I'll be honest, I kind of thought he was going to say you're either Nexus or you're against us, but I guess I'm not getting that Justin Gabriel return anytime soon. Seth continues and says, "We can buy you out to get out of our way, maybe go to SmackDown or else. So go ahead and think about it, Sammy, but we're going to need an answer by the end of the night." And then we see an intense stare down between Breakker and Zayn. Next we saw Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley, which was a lot of fun seeing both of these women trading moves.
Holding her own and then some, and again continues to work on the left leg of Rhea.
But equally, you know, Mommy had to go ahead and get her lick back.
Oh, goodness.
Thud, as you heard Roxanne's sternum touch her spine.
We also saw a beautiful kick and a Razor's Edge combo from Rhea.
Can she catch her balance?
There you go.
Razor's Edge.
That's a big fall.
But the story of this match is that Rhea continuously selling her lower leg until Julia shows up at ringside again and eventually causes the disqualification.
And for Riptide, Julia won't let it happen, right to the back leg.
And they both begin beating down on Rhea until...
But with this woman, the world champion, Io Sky.
Io comes down to aid Ripley until Julia and Perez get the upper hand, and then Rhea gets back up and saves Io as Julia and Perez scurry away. Like I said last week, holy talent in that women's division right now, especially on Monday Night Raw, but across all of WWE and hell, across all of professional wrestling. It's one thing to look at the women in this segment alone, but you look even further outwards at a timeless Toni Storm, a Mariah May going to WWE soon, a Willow Nightingale. Women's wrestling right now is it. And don't even get me started on my LFG goat, Xena Sterling. Oh my. And when we finally get Io versus Julia on pay-per-view, injected into my veins. We then see a backstage segment in the Judgment Day clubhouse. They welcome back JD and Liv then says, "Oh, you haven't heard?" And then Finn Balor says, "Heard what?" Okay, no, but for real, she says they should go for the tag titles again, so it'll be JD and Finn against the former champion War Raiders later tonight. Also, right at the end of the segment, Carlito says maybe I should go for a title again. Maybe one more Carlito US title run I'm hearing. Next up, we saw Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in a little interview.
And we're also bound to have some of that good barbecue that Kansas City's known for. That's right.
We can finally celebrate the 2025 Super Bowl World Champ Philadelphia Eagles.
Essentially, Austin Theory is being a babyface and Grayson Waller is like, haha, y'all lost in the Super Bowl, haha. I really enjoy their dynamic, but I've spoken before about the upside of Austin Theory. I still think there's something there and they need to turn him fully babyface. As for Grayson Waller, I love him too. Hell of a wrestler, hell of a finisher, hell of a theme song.
A true legend certainly does not look like your current world heavyweight champion, Jey Uso.
Then we saw Logan Paul, who calls out Jey Uso and says he's done everything except win a world title, to which Jey comes out and cuts a fire promo.
A little fire inside of me that ain't never going out. This title is not given, it's earned, and it's mine. And if you want it, come take it.
But I will say, off this one interaction between these two, I'm really sold on this feud. I don't know. The crowd was into it. I like them both as professional wrestlers, and I think it's gonna work. Logan Paul then responds to Jey by saying this.
You're gonna do what you always do, and that is crash out, screw up, and lose that title.
Which eventually results in Jey super kicking Logan Paul in the jaw.
Enjoy it while you still can.
We also see a very wholesome interaction at ringside. Basically, a kid in the front row had beaten cancer recently and he's super excited to see Jey, which was adorable. We then see the War Raiders against the Judgment Days, JD McDonough and Finn Balor, featuring the New Day at ringside talking trash.
No matter who we face, we're at the top of the mountain, man.
Judgment Day, you said they lost the titles to the War Raiders. That was what, their second or third defense in like 140 days or something?
Listen, it's the closest we're gonna get to a New Day podcast reunion revival, so I'll take it.
Except when Oh! It's impressive because he's fat. Wow.
Big.
Xavier is in full-on I don't give a fuck mode, and it's hilarious. Eventually, Carlito tries to get involved until Penta actually uses Carlito's distraction to cost JD McDonough, giving the Raiders the win.
Look, it's Penta! Penta face to face with McDonough! Ivar with a war machine!
And then we see Penta doing his signature
Oh, look at this ball smooth.
smooth move on the announce table this time. There's then a backstage segment with Zayn and Heyman where Heyman is still trying to convince Zayn to go to SmackDown, and then he says this.
Upon your entry into SmackDown, you will face the winner of John Cena versus Randy Orton.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Sammy, you probably could have beaten pre-Rogaine John Cena, but now that he's post-Rogaine, don't even try. Next we see Becky Lynch explaining why she turned on Lyra Valkyria last week in a very strong promo segment.
I have examined the evidence. I have reviewed the footage.
We also found out who attacked Bayley at WrestleMania.
It was me. I did it.
It was Becky all along, and I love that she just admitted it. No need to wait around. Let's just talk about it.
Tried to get her to ditch that bitch. Oh my god.
Becky also talks about how since 2019, Bayley has been sneak attacking her and stabbing her in the back, so what she did was justified. Then Lyra comes out and says this.
She told me that you would step on anybody's throat if it meant getting ahead.
And then Lyra drops this bombshell last line.
I am Lyra Valkyria, and I am going to be a better person than you, and I already know I'm a better wrestler than you.
I am already really enjoying this rivalry. Very strong promo from Lyra and Becky despite the obnoxious what chants for no reason.
Gonna make Becky pay, and here comes Lyra.
But after Lyra takes out Becky and stands tall, Becky isn't quite done.
Oh, and Becky Lynch.
This match will be happening at Backlash, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, Becky's heel work during this segment I found to be really strong, and same with Lyra Valkyria as a babyface now that she actually has something where she can show some layers to herself. It's a different vibe to when she was big-time Bex because it's less ego and more just disgruntled, which I think is interesting to see. We then saw a backstage segment with Chad Gable and Penta, with Nick Aldis saying Penta will get his match against JD next week.
Watching your useless brother Phoenix drop his first match to El Grande Americano.
We're getting closer and closer to that Lucha Bros reunion, but I gotta say, as of right now, I am really enjoying their solo careers a lot. Don't get me wrong, I'm very ready for the Lucha Bros reunion, and I think anyone that hasn't seen them together as a team is going to be blown away by what those two can do. But right now, I think both men establishing their own brands as singles competitors is doing so much for them in the long run for this new audience. Speaking of Gable, though, it was time for Ivy Nile against Stephanie Vaquer, but not before a Rusev promo, which was awesome. He talks about losing himself after his early success in WWE and heading back to Bulgaria to find himself again.
I am the tempest rolling in. I will hunt you, forgive you, and fix you like I fixed myself.
You know, I really like the nickname The Tempest. It reminds me of Black Ops 3. Jokes aside, I love that they're bringing back the Rusev promos. Not quite like the good ones from AEW, but they're pretty strong still.
Great counter by Ivy.
As is the case with every Dark Angel match, Booker T would be proud of this one.
Eats a mat.
I thought this match was fantastic, and for as great as Vaquer is, a really strong showing here from Ivy Nile too.
Nile, SVB. Cover.
And I'll be honest, I wouldn't hate to see Ivy Nile with that IC title eventually, maybe getting it from Becky or Lyra. There's a backstage segment with Nick Aldis, AJ Styles, and Judgment Day, where Liv says she's gonna need some time off to film a big Hollywood movie. Now the question is, what is the Hollywood movie? What is she? Is it Doomsday? What is she doing? And then Dom says, hey, I'm gonna need some time off too because I'm the champ now, so I can do whatever I want, right? And Nick Aldis says, yeah, no. Then Dom calls AJ old as hell, and AJ says, I've got an idea. How about I punch you right in the mouth? So I assume we're getting Mysterio versus Styles at Backlash, and quite frankly, I'm seeing. Then we see Karrion Kross confront Sami Zayn.
You've got a really big decision to make tonight, and hopefully you make the correct one.
Once again, another small Karrion Kross detail is when he mirrors the person he's playing mind games with. This time he's got the Sami Zayn style going on. But hey, more Karrion Kross TV time. I'm happy that they are being consistent with it. Speaking of people who they should be more consistent with and get more opportunities, there's a promo from Ludwig Kaiser here as well.
Ludwig Kaiser is the greatest
German expert since Mercedes-Benz, and everybody here knows it.
Or maybe the better play would be Ludwig Kaiser IC title later in the year, carrying cross briefcase agenda,
So last week, when that Austrian asshole put his hands on the GOAT, I had no other option.
But Aldis says no, I have an alternative. I'll lift the suspension, you against Gunther at Backlash, and Pat says deal. There's then a backstage segment where Jay says to Sammy, do what's best for you, I love you dog, and then... We then saw Rhea and Io backstage, who are basically even now.
You know I didn't need your help.
Looked like you did.
We're even then.
Rollins and Zayn have a promo segment where Rollins is begging Zayn to just take the out because if not, it's gonna end badly.
Whatever Heyman's got lined up for you, take it, man. Because if you stay on Raw and you don't believe in me, bad things are gonna happen to you.
But Sammy says, you're good. I know what you're doing dangling the world title in my face, but I've been here before and I will not be threatened.
I will win a WWE championship. I will become a world champion.
Sammy makes his final decision with one hell of a passionate line to Seth before Braun Breaker comes out to face Zayn.
I respect you. I love you. But this is me telling you to go to hell.
But this main event is really enjoyable and we see the inevitable spear into Helluva Kick counter.
Coalition spear!
It features spear after spear to a defiant Zayn who tells Rollins to shove it.
You can still get out. Take it.
Go to hell.
And also at this point, I noticed when Zayn was getting help, Breaker is in the ring as Rollins tells him to do the run around the ring spear. But Rollins does the same neck throat taunt that The Rock did to John Cena at the Elimination Chamber. Maybe it means nothing, but I'm just saying it might mean something because it was very similar. I can't be the only one that noticed that.
Look out! Sammy, look out! Oh my God!
The ref's calling it off.
Rollins lays the final nail in the coffin with a curb stomp to Zayn because he didn't go ahead and take the pass that they were offering him all episode as the new Dangerous Alliance stands tall.
Rollins down with a stop!
That was quite the video. Appreciate y'all for watching.